Hello everyone, my name is Joe Ackourey, and welcome to my channel, The Fly of the Week. Like my previous two episodes, I want to continue sharing with you some of my favorite go-to beadhead nymph patterns. So, for this episode, episode 3, I'll be tying the beadhead copper john nymph. This nymph pattern fishes incredibly well throughout the entire season when tied and fished in sizes 12s, 14s, 16s, and 18s. So without further ado, let's get started. I'll see you at the vise. Okay guys, here we go. The beadhead copper john nymph. It's a relatively easy fly to tie. You know, some of the hardest parts about tying this fly is putting the bead on the hook. It could be challenging. You gotta remember, put the point of the hook in the smaller of the two holes of the bead and slide it up and over the shank and up to the eye of the hook. Place your hook in the vise. Make sure that the hook shank is parallel to the tabletop. And remember, every well-tied fly has a nice foundation of thread. Okay. Here we go. So we have our foundation of thread. The next step is placing the tails on. For this fly, the tails are made from brown goose biots. Just two of them. Cut the two off. This could be a little challenging. I like to start out by placing, the length of the tail equals the shank of the hook. So I place one on each side of the shank. There's one, and I ride the material all the way up to the bead, pretty much. That's okay. Okay, there's the one. Get your second tail goose biot and make them the same length. Attach that with a couple of wraps. Once attached, ride that all the way up to the bead with your thread. Good. Make sure that's securely and tight. Got a nice tail for the beginning of this fly. Next step is actually putting the body on. The body's made of copper wire, heavy copper wire. It's a larger diameter. And you're going to tie that section of copper wire in the full length of the shank of the hook, up to the bead. And then I like to put a couple bends in it as I get closer to the tail. That kind of gets me a little bit tighter to the tails, and return my thread up to the bead. Now, very carefully, start wrapping your body. 1, 2, 3, right up. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wraps should do it. 10, maybe 11 wraps. Here we go. Secure that nice and tight. And you don't want to use your scissors to cut this off. It's pretty heavy wire, so I'm just going to helicopter it off and secure that with a couple more wraps. Now the next step is placing the wing case on, or the wing pad. And for the wing pad, I'm using a pearlescent wide tinsel. And I'm just going to lay that right on top of the shank and carefully fasten that down. And make sure that I wrap my wraps tight up against the abdomen that I just put in. And you can clip off the excess here. And then cover the rest up to the bead. Okay, so now we have our tails, our body, and our wing case. The next step is going to be to tie in our legs. Our legs, I like to use a speckled hen back material, hackle, like such. It's got a nice, specks in them, and I'm going to draw these fibers down of the hackle, the soft hackle, and gather a group with using the tips of my fingers. I'm going to pull off the tips, and I'm going to tie that in. The length of the legs is going to be almost equal, like from the back of the bead to the back of the body. So I'm just going to pop them in there, just like that, and anchor them, and then clip off my excess. These are the natural ends, guys. I cut off the cut ends. You don't want to mess with the natural ends. So now for the final step, I'm going to grab a piece of couple strands of Peacock Hearl, maybe 3 strands, and we're going to just tie them in just like we tie in everything. We attach them to the side of the shank of the hook, clip off any excess material without clipping your legs off, and then you're going to wrap this maybe 3-4 wraps. Hold that nice and tight, secure that up against the bead, clip off the excess, a couple more securing wraps, and now you're going to carefully, I don't know if you could see this, but I want to separate the legs that I tied in earlier in 2 equal bunches, like such. And then I'm going to fold this wing case right over the top, and at the same time I'm going to comb the legs back, and then I'm going to secure the wing case up against the bead with a couple wraps. Pick up my wing case material, clip that off, tie my finishing knot. Okay, that fly is pretty much done. One final step is we're going to add the little bubble of UV glue here, just a little bit. Get your dubbing needle and kind of get it in the knot that you just put in. You tie it up and get your UV lamp, and the rest is history. Just pull these legs down a little bit, cure that up nice. And there you have it, guys. Pretty easy fly. The Bead Head Copper John. Excellent fly. Works great throughout the entire year when tied in sizes from 12s to 18s. It's a great fly to add to your arsenal. Okay. Well, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next episode. Tight lines, guys. Thank you.